Good morning.
I appreciate you forwarding to us the ex parte communications you received from Madam DA Fani Willis. Given the sensitivity and the history in this case of ex parte meetings or maybe communications, would you just please request the state? I mean, I understand probably what was behind that communications. And of course, it is great for a boss to buck up an underling who has perhaps been attacked or maligned, but I don't believe that, and I don't think the court does either, that the court should have been copied on that communications, especially one that reads maybe more like a campaign ad with a source story in it than anyway, I just don't believe it was appropriate, and I would just ask you to please ask the state to halt any future communications ex parte they might want to have with this court. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's a shame that the court would even have to say something like that. But can you all please communicate to everybody in the DA's office to not have any sort of ex parte communications with the court? And y'all may not even know what I'm talking about because I don't think either of you was copied on that email, but Ms. Love was. Ms. Hilton, you were as well?
I do, Your Honor, and I don't know, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think we have a different perception of direct communication with the court, but we will make sure that. But
the court was copied on it. And it could have been an accident, but
Your Honor,
it should have been careful.
But the state did not have the initial conversation with the court. That was a community member, and it was very much also was not a direct communication with the court, but we understand the court's perspective. We understand what the court is saying.
Oh, excuse me. I just need to take issue with the fact that it wasn't a direct communication from the court. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Can you hear me now? I didn't mean to act like Max Sharp. I take issue with any type of suggestion that this was not a direct communication with the court. It went from Madam DA Fani Willis to this court. It was a direct communication to this court. It was inappropriate. It was praising Georgia's RICO statutes to the court, which again was not appropriate, Your Honor.
Frankly, I think it might be a good idea to print out the email and make it a court's exhibit to this record. But I think what Ms. Hilton was just saying was that the original communication was not from the district attorney's office. The original communication was, I don't know who this person is or where in the world they are, but some member of the world, member of the public, emailing Ms. Love directly, but copying several other people, the court included, because of course our email addresses are a matter of public record. And, you know, I basically ignored it and deleted it. But as you all know, because I forwarded the next communication to everybody, the elected DA, Ms. Willis, made a decision to respond and directed that response to Ms. Love, but kept everybody, including the person who had made the original email communication, and the court on her response to Ms. Love. And I believe that to be ex parte, and that is the reason why as soon as I read it, I had Ms. Persifield forward it to all counsel, because I don't think that should be going on.
I certainly appreciated that, Your Honor.
And the court really has ignored entirely the substance of the communication, because the court is not making any decisions based on whether I think the RICO statute is good or bad. That's not what judges do. The legislature enacts statutes. I apply them hopefully correctly.
And I have no
or
concern.
whether anybody thinks any attorney is doing a good or a bad job. I'm just sitting here trying to follow the law.
Yeah, and I'm not concerned about any impact on the court from that communication.
Yeah.
It's just the
Shouldn't be
communication
happening.
itself. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, Ms. Persfield, if you don't mind printing that out, and I have no idea what court exhibit number we're on, but if somebody can figure that out, we'll number it, court's exhibit number, whatever the next one is. Do you know?
Your Honor, our numbering system is broken down by act, which is why we have the different letters. So
Oh, no,
talking
court,
about the
court
court
exhibits.
I will check that, Your Honor.
We don't.
I mean, I don't know either, but somebody does. The court reporter, or the last court reporter, maybe. But anyway, we'll get that figured out and make that a court's exhibit. Okay.
Mr. Sprinkle is on his way.
Okay, thank you. So I can't imagine that I am going to grant motion in limine number. Is it numbered? This one's not numbered. But the motion that requests work product of the prosecution, but I haven't gotten through the entirety of it yet. Nor, I suppose, has the district attorney. And they would be entitled to respond, but that just doesn't seem like an appropriate thing to do. I'm going to give them a chance to take a look at it and digest it and respond. All right, I think probably on all of motion number 65, I'm apparently looking at them out of order, but, and number 64, we're going to give, we might be able to take them up this afternoon, but I'm going to give the prosecution at least through the lunch hour to respond to those. So we'll address those after lunch. Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I will say that I know this morning we're going to be discussing some of the Instagram content of Mr. Ryan, and I think the argument which comes up in number 64 is also going to be relevant during those discussions.
Okay, I didn't even look at 64 very carefully, honestly. Thought I would look at it at lunch as well. So let me take.
Now, I certainly will take a look at it too, because I always appreciate Mr. Steele bringing me the law I need.
Okay, well, let's turn for now to the issues that we're going to tackle about the evidence surrounding Mr. Ryan.